So we're recording now. Luis said he had to go, and next time we have a meeting, I'll ask everybody at the beginning if it's okay to record.
Yeah, my God.
And then we'll put them up, because I'd like to have these more often, and I'd like to have more people come, and I'd like them to know what these meetings are like so that they'll join us. We talk about liver.
Exactly, and it has some educational value. I think this discussion for other people to see. It probably has some educational value.
Yeah, and definitely it's interesting to learn about the, how you do your meat or where you get it, and what you said about getting it for free. And interesting.
Yeah. Next time I'll make the introduction again. I will repeat this so people.
Great.
Yeah. Sometimes I get the best tips from this type of random information that I see.
Yeah.
I see it's a nice idea or something. Sometimes you get the best knowledge there.
I think that's how the brain works. It's like we've got two types of memory, and one's random and one's the stuff we remember. And I think random conversation sometimes it stimulates the memory, so the memory can grow. Yeah, it's just whenever I try and have a random conversation with a lot of people, they're just, this person is weird, let's ignore them.
Yeah.
So,
well, just for the record, I want to say Corina's phoning in from Switzerland, Cloud's in Wales, and Luis is in Portugal. So in case Luis has to go, we got a record of who is here. So.
Yeah, I'm showing the sun here. We have a lot of sun going on.
Yes, it looks beautiful there.
Good sky.
It was nice talking to you, Luis. Hopefully we'll get to talk again soon.
Okay.
And you guys feel free to let me know when is a good time for you guys to have a meeting.
For the European guys, I think this is a good time for you.
This is good.
Yeah, I would say so. But if for the Americans, we can also do an hour later or 2 hours later.
Yeah.
That's good in the UK.
You always have the West and the East Coast difference.
Yeah.
It's hard to find the sweet spot that is good for everyone.
Right. For sure.
Okay.
I appreciate you guys being here. It was great talking
to you.
See you again, Lewis.
Let me show you the pig head. Where is the pig head? Yeah. So for record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you. Okay. Portuguese pig head already. Some bites on it.
I've been nibbling on your pig, have you?
Exactly. It's very tasty.
I wish I was there.
Excellent.
It's the thing about living so far away. We need teleporters like on Star Trek.
That would be nice.
The pig always looks tastier in Portugal.
Exactly. It looks very, very, very tasty, and it's very tasty. And the suet. Okay. Bye. See you later.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye, Louis.
I'm gonna try your kidney and liver paste in the dehydrator.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I tried doing it the first time I tried doing liver in a dehydrator. I got the liver and just slice into pieces. But I didn't really like the texture. So I thought, right, I've got to get over this, right? I've got 2 kidneys in a bag that need eating. you know, they're starting to get to that smell where they're telling me, look, you need to eat these now. Chuck them in with some liver and just, you know, smash them up. I think there's a lot of blood in the liver and the kidneys. Couldn't really get spleen, but those are the ones I can get. And when you put them on the baking paper and spread it out, you know, make sure you got it on the rack, because I think all that blood just congeals and goes crispy. And then when everything else dries, you know, you've got the, you know, it's all mixed in.
I think one of the reasons why liver tastes so strong is because there's so much blood in it. And when you don't get the blood out of the meat, you get those strong flavors. So like when you go hunting and you hunt an animal, you want to hang it up and bleed it as fast as you can. Otherwise, it tastes really strong. And I think anybody who's handled liver will tell you it's very, very, very vascular, because there's always blood oozing out of it. And I think one of the tricks to getting the taste to be a little more mild is just to get as much blood out as possible. So maybe when that blood oozes out of your paste and gets crispy, it probably tames down the flavor a little bit.
Yeah, I'm thinking as well. When my butcher gets the liver, he gets it out of this vacuum pack thing, right? Which has like many, many other livers in it. This bag is filled with blood. Now, the thing is, if he'd taken the liver out, sliced it up, you know, and presented it on a dish, so you know, the blood, some of the blood would have been taken out.
Yeah.
Now he's serving it up from that bag into into another bag. It's pretty much the same. It's like liver that it's probably got more blood than the liver has itself. I don't know, but that thing about blood was, I think they what was I was watching last night. There's something about they banned it in many countries, the sale of blood. You know, so anyone who's making their own black pudding, if you're familiar with that. You know,
I've never made it. What do they put in black pudding?
Well, it's mainly blood. It's mainly fresh blood. You've got fresh blood, and I think they added a kind of bread to it. Okay. But it's probably 100% carnivore version of it. But it's congealed blood into a sausage.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, so when they banned people buying fresh blood, the only source of blood they could get was dried blood in these sausages, and that was it.
Right.
And even if you're, you know, I looked into it, you know, thinking, yeah, eat more blood, try and get blood sausages, and I think the only way you can get it, even online, is dehydrated.
You
know,
know, it's such a healthy thing. I also use it for my plants, actually. I put some little bit of my meat when I unpack it and there is some blood. I put it in a container, and then I add some water, and I share that to the plants, and they really thrive.
Cool.
I'm going to start doing that, because when I was a kid, I worked in a plant nursery. And we sold blood meal, so it was dried blood in a bag that was plant food. But I never thought about keeping the blood from the packages and just putting it on the plants. They probably would like that. That's probably better than the dried stuff for the plants.
Yeah, instead of throwing it away, so give it to the plants.
I bought a bunch of liver yesterday, because I dehydrate liver and give it to my dog as snacks. And I was gonna go out today and look for some kidney.
Nice.
That's a type of aloe vera.
Yeah, this is aloe vera. So I have like 4 of these that I've been looking after. Unfortunately, I got a southwest. This is my southwest wall, so I don't have a lot of light. But I started collecting these when they were like, I think they're a very powerful medicinal plant if used correctly. They're really good for burns and putting on your skin. And I know, I don't think using them internally is the best way, but I like growing them. And what happens is when I've collected enough of them, I'll put them into, the excess leaves when I cut them off, into a bottle. It's just a glass bottle. This was, And then what happens is I'll just shake that up, and I don't know if you can see in there.
See
foam. This is the foam.
Yes.
Well, so it's up to there. It's basically the water from the aloe vera.
Yeah.
So now, if I did get a little burn or something, I could just put a small dot on my hand. I think plants can be good medicine for the outside of your body.
For the outside, yeah. That's a good.
It's drinking this stuff would be a diuretic, is it?
Probably, yeah.
So not good to eat. Unless you had some dodgy oysters.
Maybe.
Yeah, there was something I saw at the when I went down the supermarket earlier. They keep getting different fish in, like different types, and they got octopus in. Now I'm seeing this octopus. They've reduced it twice already, and part of me wants to pick it up and say, right, I know how to cook that. I'll cook that. But the other part of me thinks, leave it there. Now, I know it's an octopus, and it was probably like £2.50 for enough octopus for two people. It was a decent size, but I don't know how to cook that stuff.
I think you could just normally cook it. I used to, as a kid, when we went to Spain, we had octopus all the time. It's a bit chewy. It's not so nice, like sweet steak, that softness of meat, but you get used to it, and it's okay to eat.
If you go to a sushi restaurant, you eat raw octopus, so you could eat it raw. If you go to Mexico or you're hanging out with your Mexican friends, it might very well wind up in ceviche, which is, basically not cooked. It's prepared with like citrus juices and onion. And then, you'll find it cooked, like it'll be boiled in salt water or something like that, or it'll even wind up on a stick on the grill. So you can eat it. But anyways, it does tend to be on the chewy side. Sometimes it's actually kind of sweet tasting. So it has a very sort of faint sweetness to it. So eating it raw probably depends on how well it's been handled. But people eat it raw all the time. People boil it.
Without eating fish raw, you see, if it's a red fish, I think I could eat it raw. But anything like, I don't know if it's the color of the food I don't know if it's the color of the food that kind of like my brain kind of like perceives whether or not I should eat it raw or not. And if it's red, like meats, it's like eat it. But if it's like white, like fish or chicken, I still think cook it or steam it or something. You know, what was it? I'd like to try lobster. That's red.
Yeah, it tastes awesome.
But whenever you see lobster, you know, in the movies or whatever it is, they've cooked it, they've boiled it.
Yeah, it's usually boiled. A lot of times the lobsters are not red until they're boiled. A lot of times they're kind of that greenish, grayish color.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you take it
kind
out
of red.
of the freezer. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, they turn red when you boil them. So you just boil a lobster in salt water. It's usually what they do. Dip it in some butter. That's all you need. Salt and butter.
But what would it taste like raw?
I don't know. I've never had raw lobster. It probably does not have a lot of taste. But again, lobster can be a little bit on the sweet side somehow. It's kind of hard to explain. So it's just it's a very tender muscle, you know. It's essentially a giant sea cockroach. So
yeah, 8 legs.
Similar to shrimp, probably.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's kind of like shrimp. Well, guys, I probably need to go here, but it was great talking to you. And let me know when you guys think would be a good time to do another meeting. And I'll start recording them from beginning to end because we had a lot of good content in the beginning. And we had another guy on who had to leave early, but before Luis. So next time we'll have a better record, and we had lots of good conversation about meat and stuff that we didn't get recorded. But I got to make sure everybody's okay with being recorded. That's the thing. So I know in another group I'm in, we just took a screenshot. We didn't record the whole thing, and one of the people that was in the screenshot freaked out later.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's why I'm cautious about it. So most of it's, I think that's, it's going to be like 1 out of 20 people who even cares. But and these meetings are pretty small. But it would be nice to share these meetings with people so they see what they're like.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
hopefully more people will attend. So, but I thank you guys for being here, and I enjoyed talking with you guys.
Yeah, thank you for having us on. And it's really a good idea to have those meetings and have this exchange.
Yeah.
Getting to know each other, and it's really more personal than just a Facebook group.
Yeah. Oh, can't hear you, Cloud.
Volume?
Yeah, can't hear you. Can't hear you. There you go. Now you're muted. Yeah. Technology lets us down sometimes, buddy. All right.